The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors. Warning: the following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. And a beeping smoke detector is his favorite sound right now. So yes, I do check all the batteries in my smoke detectors. They're working fine. So if you hear that, it's the parrot. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos, where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited, pre-recorded videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. I remember reading a tweet. What was it, a tweet? Somebody says that they were watching TikTok videos. And they said the one thing that they learned from watching, I don't know how many TikTok videos that they were watching, that most people pretty much have a beeping smoke detector in their house that they completely ignore. And and all the beeping is like, just change the batteries. But it just seems like most people just hear that beeping and they tune it out so quickly that they don't realize that there's a smoke detector beeping in their house. So it's like, and of course, just recently, the parrot decides that he's going to be the beeping smoke detector for a while. So of course he's going to have me running up and down the stairs, looking for all the smoke detectors, making sure all the batteries are changed, only for me to find out the last minute that it was just him being a dick. So yeah, so if you hear a beeping smoke detector in my video, it's a parrot. I am not neglectful of the safety in my house. And I do regularly change the batteries in my smoke detectors. So just so you know. Oh my goodness. Oh, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello, Afrain. Hello. Yes, Rue. Yes, it's always starting. It's always starting. Oh, well, yes, keep your hands on the wheel. Yes. Hello, Allison. Yes. Was it happy? Well, today's the 3rd, so I don't know what the official or unofficial name is for the 3rd of May, but may the 4th be with you. Oh, hello, Patrick. Hello. Oh, so you're one of those people who just ignores the smoke detector. I mean, really, doesn't it drive you? It drives me absolutely up the wall. I don't know how people can just ignore that. It's like I knew a person who it's like they actually just put the smoke detector on top of their refrigerator until the beeping stopped, and I'm like going, holy crap, how do you stand that noise? But that's, yeah. So that's just, oh, and hello from Peru. Hello. Hi, Carlos. Oh, we're just worldwide here. Oh, a good. Are there OSHA regulations in art studios at home? Are you asking seriously, or because I don't think so? I'm not sure. As far as I know, there isn't. Like a home office, I don't think is regulated by OSHA at all, as opposed to like an actual office. Of course, now I'm probably later on, I'm going to go down that rabbit hole trying to find out. But no, I don't think there's OSHA regulated because I'll be in big trouble. if there were OSHA regulations, that are required for a home office. I doubt it though. I doubt it. Lots of Star Wars is coming. That's true. That's true. Because it's like because you're doing what, you did a stream today, or were you doing a stream today and tomorrow and May the 5th? You know, so yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars going on. Really, you just sleep right through it. Okay, yeah, I just couldn't do it. Let's see. Oh, Star Wars mangas. Oh yeah, I remember the Star Wars manga that they put out. I think it was Robert De Jesus, I think, did a couple of them, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Robert De Jesus did a Star Wars manga back in the day. I think he did I think he did like episode 3. No, episode 4. Episode 4. That's the yeah, so right, yes, so you do not need forklift certification in your bedroom, although plenty of people use pallets as bed frames. Oh, there we go. It's May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th, right? I saw somebody the other day saying, taking it from the Mandalorian, this is the May. So at least now it encompasses the entire month of May. Oh my goodness. Patrick, I haven't watched any of the Star Wars stuff. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. This is the May. Yes. Gosh, it's like I haven't watched any Star Wars stuff since like the first season of The Mandalorian, and even then I skipped the third. What is that? Not Rise of Skywalker. Whatever the fuck came afterwards. It's like I stopped caring after a point. It's like the movies are just, those hello dead man, hello. It's like, I don't know. I think that for the new movies, those characters were done so dirty. I just couldn't watch it. I just couldn't finish watching it. It's like, they had me at the first, what is it? The Force Awakens. They had me there, and then they kind of like ruined it for me as it went along. Did I see the new? I did see the new trailer, but this was like a while ago, so I don't quite remember it. To tell you the truth, it's like that's also another movie series I can't stand. I can't stand at all. I cannot stand Guardians of the Galaxy at all. I mean, granted, I appreciate all the Rocket Raccoon merchandise that came out, but I don't I really, really don't like those movies. I really don't. Chris, what's his name? Whatever the Chris is, whatever the movie Chris, I do. No, I don't. I just have no patience. I just have no patience for a lot of things now. I'm just very hyper focused. But you know what? Speaking of hyper focusing, before Ifrain rings the bell on me, how about it's like I'll probably should get the show officially started, and then we can go back to mumbling about Star Wars. Hold on. So, oh my goodness. So welcome everybody to another episode of my drawing live stream. Thank you for much for showing up. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
I will speak for you, Father. I speak for all mediocrities in the world. I am their champion. I am their patron saint.
It's like I love the movie. I'm kind of wondering whether I should or should not. I shouldn't have played that clip though. It's a little, I don't know. There's just I love it, but you know what I mean. I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales returning to Kickstarter very, very soon. I'm still finishing up the book. It's the first full color Tall Tales comic coming to Kickstarter. So make sure you hit the link in the show notes below. In my link tree, so you can head on over to the Kickstarter site, so you can get notified when the campaign goes live. It is currently on pre-launch right now. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter with issue 7, summer 2023. So also, it's like visit my website and sign up for the mailing list so that you too get notified when the pre-launch page goes live. For this is issue 7 already. I can't. I mean, you know what? Look, all these Kickstarters, and I'm still amazed at how many books I've put out so far. I am also co-host with Nina Landing on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network as well. So, yeah, what else am I saying about this? Yeah. So today's Wednesday. Yes, today's Wednesday. Jesus Christ. And speaking of Kickstarters, remember that we have a coupon code RAGEN10. Save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order. Are you fulfilling Kickstarters anytime soon, like I am, very shortly? So stock up on your Kickstarter supplies, fulfillment supplies at Gemini Comic Supply. But what if you don't have a Kickstarter? What if you're just hanging out and you're just like, hey, I'm not doing Kickstarters. Well, what's this coupon code good for? Well, I'm pretty sure you have a comic book collection that needs a little sprucing up. And guess what else you can get at Gemini Comic Supply? Yes, comic book bags and boards. So use our coupon code RAGEN10 to get your comic book collection all nice and tidy and brand new bags and boards that you can buy by the ton or not. Oh my goodness. Yes. So in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can also check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel here at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of my shows go live. And yes, I see you, the 11 people watching me from regions beyond. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you are joining me from Facebook, if you are joining me from Twitter, come on over to YouTube. Join my sexy people in the chat. Facebook has a tendency to act up, and Twitter doesn't even let me see your comments. So come on over to YouTube. There we go. So let's see. Oh, the Guardians. No, I didn't like any of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I really didn't. You know what it is? It's like, look, out of all the movie Chris Pratt, I think is probably my least favorite. There's just something. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's just very off-putting to me. Chris Pine is my favorite movie Chris. So no, Guardians never. And also, I really don't like the way that the fact that they turned Rocket into some little constantly angry asshole. But at the same time, I should relate to that. So. But yeah, I just, most likely than not, I'm not going to see this new movie. Will there be fan art of Rocket? Probably, most likely, as always, because I separate the character from the movie. But yeah, I just don't have patience for a lot of media now. That's just a lot of media in general. Oh, hey John, how you doing? Oh, there you go. Oh, you're animating an opening. Very nice. So that's gonna look really great on Kickstarter. So good luck, good luck with that, sir. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, there's funny because this is a video that I am going to make about Rocket Raccoon and how his book was very influential. The Mike Mignola run on Rocket Raccoon was incredibly influential for me. I mean, up there with ElfQuest. So I'm in the process of making another video for that, so I can explain more. But the thing is, though, that's the reason why that I can separate the character from the movie. So I can enjoy the character, I can enjoy the merchandise, but yeah, the movie itself, I'm just like, I just can't, you know. Um, so yeah, oh my god, it's like I said, it's like I've just been I don't know. I just have been having a hard time, like really paying attention to media. I mean, it's just like, like the other day I saw the Ahsoka trailer, and everything about that trailer screamed that I should have liked it, that I should have been excited for it or whatnot. And I just couldn't feel anything. I just couldn't feel anything for it. I mean, I'm sure, Jose's gonna watch it, and whatnot. Most likely I'm gonna be listening to it in the office while I'm working. But it's very rare nowadays that I'm able to sit down and actually watch something from beginning to end, like just concentrating on that. Like I was really lucky the other day. I was watching this really, really good documentary about Dave Stevens, the guy who created The Rocketeer. I mean, if you're not familiar with who Dave Stevens is, just look him up. It's absolutely gorgeous work. And what's funny was that he also did work for some of the Star Wars comics as well. And it's like, man, this guy could draw Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and oh my God, Carrie Fisher. Like I mean, just absolutely beautiful work that he did on the Star Wars comics. And so yeah, so I was watching that. I was able to sit through that, but only because I was inking at the same time. So I think it's too late, Patrick. I think it's too late. I think it's too late. It started with lockdown, and honestly, it's like I haven't really got over it since. So, but mind you, I was on my way to that anyway. So I don't know. It's um thank you, James. Thank you. Oof, thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Yes, smash that like, smash that like, smash all the buttons. So I was inking at the same time while I was watching this Dave Stevens documentary. And so that was pretty much the only way that I was able to do it, because I really wanted to watch the documentary, but at the same time I really needed to get work done. So I don't know, like I said, it's like I've been just having a hard time. I joke that I have like adult onset ADHD. Excuse me. I joke that I have like adult onset ADHD, and it's like, is it, or I'm in 4K. And and it's just like right now it's like I'm trying to like keep myself focused enough to finish all the projects that I was supposed to have finished last month. I'm literally working on 3 projects at the same time. So I have I'm working on three books at the same time. So of course, the first book that I'm working on is finishing up the one shot for the Tall Tales book coming up on Kickstarter soon. So like I said, this is going to be the first full color Tall Tales short story. It's 40 pages in full color. It's a one shot. It's a self-contained short story about Gabriel, the panda bard that you see on that front cover. And how he meets Ravenwood. It's like, and how he ended up with the group in the Tall Tales Thieves Quest. storyline. So this is a prequel to that. So I'm working on this. I'm still working on the last 12 pages. It's like they're taking forever for me to get through, but I'm slowly getting through them. And of course, I started coloring Eagle Raven issue 7. This one is not for later on this year, but I really want to get it done. This book done for May. I want to get all of these books that I'm working on. I want them to get done by the end of the month because I just have like so much work on my plate right now that it's like I want to clear up as much as I can so that I'm gonna have to start drawing comics from scratch soon, and I really need the leeway for next year to be able to get a lot of that work done. So I need to get all these books done as far in advance as much as I can so that I can literally start working on stuff for next year. I know it's ridiculous, but also the third book that I am working on, that's friggin' that's my doorbell. Like, ignore that. It's like I don't know. Was I expecting something? I don't know. Let me just check here. So the other book that I'm working on, it's UPS, and they have very large boxes. So I'll check that out. I'll check that out in a minute after the show's over. So I wonder if those are my comics. Sometimes my printer has a tendency to do that, to just send out my comics without telling me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this in a minute. So this is the other book that I'm working on right now. This is the parody Eagle Raven book that I'm working on. It's a 16-page one-shot parody book based on a story called The Frost Giant's Daughter by Robert E. Howard. That I originally saw this book in the Savage Sword of Conan series from Marvel, which was reprinted by Dark Horse. It was reprinted by Dark Horse in these black and white editions. So I'm working on that as well. So these are like the 3 books I'm trying to get done. In the meantime, it's like, look, you know what? It's like, I have to find out if what these boxes are. So give me a second. I'll be right back. Because if it is my comics, then I'll get to show off some stuff. So give me a minute. And I'm going to check what UPS dropped off on my front porch, and I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, yes. Thank you so much for being patient with me, because guess what? It's I really do think it's my comics for the Kickstarter. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I'm a little out of breath because I had to run, and I can't run. I'm wearing slippers, and I can't run in slippers. So let's see. So I brought the smallest box over just for me to check. Let's see. So there's a larger box that that accompanied it as well. So let me see. Let's see. What did we get here? Oh. Oh my goodness. Let's see. All right. This actually no. Oh, did he ship everything together? Because okay, for those of you who have ordered from the Oswald Chronicles, that's what came in the box. So if you pledged to the last campaign for the Oswald Chronicles, just so you guys know, the books came in. So yeah, so it looks like I have a feeling we're both going to be doing our fulfillment together. So yeah, so these are okay. So these are actually Oswald books, but I have a feeling the printer might have. Yeah, here's mine. Here it is. So this is some of the reprints of EGOMANIACS. That, I mean, I guess the printer probably figured it's like, oh, it's all going to the same address anyway. So I did a reprint. More reprints of, here's EGOMANIACS issue 2. So, okay, so at least, all right, that looks, there we go. So restocking on that. So yes, and also if anybody, wants to know, if you missed the campaign for Kickstarter and, you don't want to wait, the comics are going to be available they are available now on the look at that. So this is the Jaden Lanning hollow cover. I'm sure I must have shown this off enough times, for everybody to see. So yeah, this is, let's see, which one is it? I think this one's another Oswald one. So it looks like fulfillment. Okay, these are the sketch covers. Okay, and speaking of sketch covers, so yeah, because it's like this is the sketch cover for issue 6 that we will be working on today. I thought I had a little bit more time. Guess not. So okay, so at least I know all my books have come in. So, well, I guess that tells me that it's time to get working, because it's like, okay, fulfillment is going to start very, very soon. So let me just put that box away. Oh, it's very nice. It's very nice to see. Yeah. Yes, it was an unplanned unboxing video. Yes. So, yes, it was very shiny. Yes, it is. Labor paying off. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the funny thing about the printer that I use, is that he's poor thing. He's very bad at communication, but I always get my books. Like, because usually, like normal people would, you'd get the tracking number and everything and whatnot. And it's like with him, it says he'll just, maybe he'll tell you that he downloaded the files, but then, like a couple of days later, you'll have the books coming in with no warning whatsoever. So it's like, okay, whatever. As long as I get the books, in the end, that's all that matters. So yeah, so if that's a segue of anything, because that definitely reminds me, I was like, oh, well, now I really have to get these covers, these sketch covers done. So what I'm going to do is let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a bump so I could transfer everybody over to the drawing table. Because as you can see right there, I do have one of the covers that I have to start working on. I had 3 people who ordered sketch covers from the last campaign. So yeah, might as well start working on them, right? So I'm going to play a bump, transfer everybody over to the other monitor, and let's get working, right? So let me just, oh my goodness, oh, there we go. I don't feel as discombobulated. All right, so after these messages, I'll be right back.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. Yeah, you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Oh, I forgot I put that I put the thing to loop. Hold on. There we go. Okay, there we go. Because I wasn't sure how long I was going to be gone at the front. So I set it to loop, and I forgot to switch it. Hold on. Oh my goodness, I am so all over the place. There we go. Much better. I knew something was up. Okay, let me just fix this. There we are. Okay. Oh, this is so exciting. That means that I could start sorting books out and everything, just, to get everything like going. Good grief. Okay, let's see. Where am I? Okay, so like I said, hold on, let me just stabilize my desk a bit. Okay, there we go. So like I said, on my last Kickstarter campaign, I did yes, it's like 3 people ordered sketch covers for issue 6. And so the thing is, though, it's like since I thought I had a little bit more leeway, yes, the fourth was early for me this year. Yes, it was. For those who celebrate. So yeah, so this is so for those of you who don't know, this is my comic Ego Raven. This is issue 6 that I just ran a Kickstarter for, which ended like 2 weeks ago. But like I said, if you missed the campaign and you want to pick up some books, everything will be available on the website. Actually, up to issue 6 will be available once I get the Kickstarter books out, but everything else is available on the website right now. So if you want to pick up copies, you can actually do that right now. If you want, but if you want to wait because you want to pick up issue 6, just give me a couple of weeks. In about 2 weeks or so, I'll have everything accounted for, and then I will put the last of the books, or at least the remainder of the books of issue 6 on my website, so that you can pick them up. So I have to start now. The thing is, though, I was originally going to go with a medieval theme for the music, but let's see. But Efrain was he wants to hear the flamenco. Let's see. He wants to hear the flamenco mood. Okay, so let's see. We have, so I'm just looking at Epidemic Sound right now. So Efrain was requesting flamenco. So let's see. We have, let's see the playlist. Let me see vocals. I just want instrumentals. So yeah, so in honor of Efrain, we are going to run a flamenco playlist in the background. So let me just get that music started. Let's see. Um, let's see. Okay, can you guys hear that? Okay. Oh, this might actually be very nice. Okay. Right. Oh yeah, you know what? That'll work. That'll work. So yeah, just tell me if the music is a little too loud or whatnot. You know, the usual. Okay, so when I'm doing sketch covers, because I mean, I'm just happy that I just have 3. There was one um Oswald campaign where I had to do, I think, like, I keep wanting to say 27 sketch covers. It might have been more 21, but it was definitely in the 20s. I had to do 20 something sketch covers for an Oswald campaign. And, so luckily this is just 3. Now, the thing is, though, with sketch covers, I kind of like to run in themes. It makes it easier for me to kind of like figure out what to draw on the sketch covers. So what I decided is that, like, a long while ago, I did some Tall Tales covers where I actually used mica pigments. These are kind of like iridescent watercolor paints that I was using on some Tall Tales covers. I was using it for the armor, and it almost like, I was making covers almost look like, those um kind of like those Orthodox Russian icons, with the bejeweled and whatnot. So it's like, you know what? I haven't used these in a while. So what I'm going to do, so the theme that I decided to run with these covers is, of course, they're all going to be portraits of Eagle Raven, but she's going to be in her armor. So then that way, when I color the pieces, the armor is going to be done in that metallic paint. It's going to look very, very nice because I have the Posca metallic pens, but with the metal acrylic, but they're not they don't go on as smoothly as the paint does, because the paint really, really shines once it dries. So that's what I'm going to do with that's what I'm going to do with these covers. So all 3 of them is going to have her in armor, and that's going to be done in the metallic paint. It's like, I'm sure it's going to look really, really pretty when it's done. So yeah, so I just have my reference on the screen. You guys can't see it, but I have my reference on the screen. Because I do have my Japanese pose books and everything, but this time around, it's like, you know what? It's like, I want to be able to I don't want to flip through books. I don't feel like flipping through books. So But oh, it's like, you know what, I am really oh, so yes, oh, hey Grant, hey, I mean, I just started, Grant, so it's fine, it's fine. So the pencil that, oh, yeah, no, for sure. I could imagine. I mean, because God knows, when I'm watching a video that has birds in it, he's constantly reacting to them too. So this is a coal erase pencil from Prismacolor. This is in carmine red. They do come in different colors, but I mostly use just blue or red. Either one works for me. I like the way they look. Because it makes me feel like an animator. It's like, yeah, eventually I would like to. Actually, I have something set up for me to kind of draw out like a little GIF, just like something really simple. It's like 8 frames, and I want to like give that uh, a little try. Just to be able to say, it's like, okay, I tried my hand at animation. We'll see how. We'll see how that works out. So, because when I was using the colored pencils before, was I was especially using them on tall tales, and I was using different colors to be able to layer characters and backgrounds in a way that I can kind of like see them better on paper. If I was a cool kid, I would be, of course, using Clip Studio Paint and doing all that sketching and layering in a program, so that I wouldn't have to use different types of pencils. Um, but that's what I was doing. I'm just very old school. I'm just very old school. Um, I always have to, what it is, I always have to make things difficult for myself before I can actually make it easier for myself. Yeah, not exactly. I mean, I guess they said that it's a flamenco mood. So, but I don't know. I like this. So far, I'm liking this playlist. So we're okay with that. At least I'm okay with that. So, let's see. Wow. So I thought I had a little bit more time, um, to start getting stuff together. You know, um, but obviously not. So it's like, so later it's like I'm going to have to start going. Well, first I have to go through all the books to make sure that I have everything that I ordered. Because when I did the proofs, I was short a couple of books. I mean, they were proofs, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But for the actual order, I have to make sure that I have everything there. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do inventory, and then gonna have to start bagging and boarding everything. And that's the funny thing too, because I have to check. I'm pretty sure we still have plenty of bags and boards for everything. I was just really surprised at how quickly I was going. I bought like 1,000 of them, like a couple of months ago. And yes, I did save money using our coupon code. Um, but yeah, it's like, but we've just been going through them really, really fast. It's like we might actually need to pick some more up soon. Let's see. Do you hear the music? Do you hear the music? Because I hear it just fine. Hold on. Let me check something. Let me check something. Okay, the screen's gonna get a little messy right now, so hold on. Okay, yeah, so that's okay. So I mean that it's there. So do you hear the music? Hold on. Let me tell me no music. Okay, so let me see something. Okay. Okay, let me see. Oh, hey Sarah. Let's see. Oh, you do hear it. Okay, so I just took it out. I'm just going to bring it back in again. Hold on. I'm just going to bring in the music again. Oh. Okay, add to stream. Okay, so maybe. Okay, so you do hear it. Okay, so probably it's not. Hold on. I'm going to put it up a little bit louder. Okay, do you guys hear it now? Okay. Oh, thank you, Grant. Thank you. I mean, okay, now you're okay. Okay, so now you're hearing it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. So we just sorted that out then. Okay. All right. And it's not too loud, right? It doesn't feel like I'm yelling over it. Yeah, so the music is flamenco vibes, rather than like actual flamenco. I think the other playlist that I had was like really like heavy duty flamenco. So but this is just vibes. So today we're just vibing flamenco. Let's see. Oh. Oh, even okay. So all right, that's because I don't know. It's like I sometimes get self-conscious about how I sound on audio because I'm always like double checking everything to make sure all my stuff is working, and like okay, like I don't know, I don't know whether I know I'll get better sound if I have my microphone closer, but I hate the way it shows up on screen. Like if you can see it like over here. But I don't know. It's like I always think I'm coming off a little bit louder than I should, but I don't know if it's because I'm compensating for something with the microphone. Like it was like a little too far away because I'm trying to keep it off screen. So I brought it in closer to see that, maybe it'll like I don't know, it'll just sound better. I don't know. I mean, it's like, look, it's like I'm running off of like the most basic setup anybody can put together. it's not like I have like a soundboard or something. Um, you know, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like I don't have nowhere near professional setup. So I guess there's just certain limitations that USB connected items, I'm just going to have to accept with that. Yeah. But I just have to comment. I just have to comment because it's like your name, Stuttering John, right? It's one, thank you for coming to the stream, right? But I can't help but your name, Stuttering John, remind me of, I don't know whether it was a Howard Stern bit, like how like a character on Howard Stern or on Opie and Anthony. I can't remember. It's like, these New York personalities, radio personalities. I mean, so I just couldn't help but like kind of hyper focus on that because that's just what it started reminding me of. But like I said, welcome anyway welcome to the stream. So stuttering, okay, thank you. Yeah, Stuttering John was Howard Stern, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, so I just had to laugh to see, just to see that name in the chat going, what? That takes me back. Because really, it's like you can't be a New Yorker as old as I am and not have listened to Howard Stern regularly, at some point. So okay, so funny. Oh, okay, so something had come up today. So I'm sure everybody knows that the Writers Guild, the WGA, I guess like the Writers Guild of America, which is the writers union in Hollywood, that they're striking right now. Because what happened, it's like, it's like, because what happened is that with they're saying that they want protections from the usage of AI, and also it's like, and also they're fighting back against the studios, like not wanting to give residuals and like only wanting to do like day pay, or like instead of like, I don't know how the Hollywood system works, but you know what? It's like, we're talking about billion-dollar companies refusing to pay workers. So I'm always, it's like, I'm always going to be on the union side for that, especially for something like Hollywood, where it's like, they're saying how it's like, we're still profitable, but we're not making money. And it's like that fucking Hollywood math, like, how do you have movies making billions of dollars, but it never makes a profit, right? So it's a lot of shenanigans, and the, and it's like, and creatives, and creative people deserve to benefit from their work, just like the studios have no problem benefiting from their work. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that is, that is the thing, that it's like, because what it is that the studios, they want to make shit through AI and then just be able to hire somebody for a day or two to just correct the script. And of course they refuse, that's, and it's like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to purposefully make ourselves obsolete. You know what? It's like, the studio heads have no problem making money. I mean, it's like when the studio heads are making bonuses of $200 million, they can't tell me they're not making money. You see, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, they're doing so poorly, but the only people who can't get paid are the writers. I mean, honestly. So I told Jose this, so then I was just, filling him in on it. And he just outright said that he doesn't give a fuck. Which kind of surprised me, but I was just like, wait, what the fuck, dude? I mean, it's like, these are writers, fighting for their livelihood. And then he goes, no, fuck that, guys, because because these are the same people who have no problem coming into comics, wrecking havoc, and then just leaving everything behind when it's not convenient for them anymore. And they're only going to be doing that now because they still want to work. So they're going to be, they're going to be going to Marvel and DC or whatnot. It's like, hey, I'm a screenplay writer. Can I do comics now? Because this has happened before. Jimmy Palmiotti was talking about how the last time there was a writer's strike, he actually lost his job at Marvel because a screenplay writer came in saying that I want to work on that book, which was the book that Jimmy Palmiotti was working on. And Marvel said, yeah, sure, you can have it. Only for them to cancel the book several months later, So it was just kind of funny to see, like even Jimmy Palmiotti was talking about, it's like, this is not a good thing. This is not a good thing for us. And it just like kind of like made me, like think about, because I was seeing some more threads about it's like writers have for the past years wanted to sell IPs rather than write for an IP more than ever. Yeah, I mean, that, you see, that's the funny thing, because that's, like I said, there was a lot of threads popping up concerning that, about like, oh snap, here comes the screenplays posing as comic scripts. Right? It's like, here comes all the screenplay writers who don't know how to write for comics now thinking that they know how to write for comics. And someone had asked, how can you tell a comic written by a screenplay writer as opposed to somebody who's just as opposed to somebody just writing a comic? And the big tell that a lot of people, most of the artists that were answering were saying, is that they have multiple actions going on in one panel. And I had to laugh because it's like, yeah, that's an amateur mistake. Because that's the funny thing, because that's usually a mistake that I see rank amateurs do when they're first writing for comics. Is that they have like, oh, in this panel, have the guy do this, and this. And it's like, on what planet? Because, this is comics. It's like, you have, it's like, yes, theoretically, you can have multiple things happening in, in a comic, but, but the thing is, though, it's like you still have to focus on one thing at a time in a panel, because it's like you can't have multiple things be the main focus in one panel. It's like, look, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm sure Jeff Darrow did variations of that theme, but honestly, that's not how you do a comic. That's not how you do a comic. And I had to laugh because I said, it's like, look, the funny thing is that these screenplay writers don't even know what a storyboard is. Because, there's always this thing about how, screenplay writers just think that comics are just storyboards bound together. And it's like they don't know what storyboards are either. Because if they're asking you for multiple scenes, multiple actions happening in one panel, that's not a storyboard either. Storyboards never show you. You go look up actual storyboards. I mean, and it's like one focus at a time. It's what the camera is seeing. And the focus has to be on one main action in that storyboard. So, so it's like, so any so it's like, yeah, so any screenplay writer who writes something like that, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard for me to even say that. It's like, bro, do you even know your industry? It's so the funny thing is, it's like, hold on. So Jake is saying that Whoopi Goldberg is pitching a comic, groaning at the accessibility from the top. Yeah, but that's a given, isn't it? That Whoopi Goldberg is going to have an easier time getting comics made than us at Dark Horse. Let's see. Screenwriters write for the pacing and beat of the film, though. The cut in the film cannot be equated with the gutter in comics. Absolutely. It's two completely different mediums. Oh, this cover is going to look really pretty when it's painted up. I'm really happy with the how this is going to look. Because I can imagine the iridescent paint on it and everything. So I'm really happy with that. I do have to admit, Epidemic Sound has a very, very strange idea of what flamenco mood is. That's for sure. I'm not crazy about this playlist, but I'm just letting it run. So I had said the thing about they don't even know what actual storyboards are. It's like, if that's what they think writing for comics is. Like I said, it's a very rank amateur thing to do, to say that, oh, this one panel has 5 different actions going on in, and it's like, that's not how that works. That's not how that ever worked. So the other thing that for me, that's always a tell when somebody has never written for comics before. Actually, what's really funny is that it's not as much. I mean, if there's a tell, it's that these guys will tell you straight up. Like I've interviewed like plenty of people, and the guys, because it's always guys, who are writing, doing the screenplay as a comic so that they can like do it as a proof of concept to sell to Netflix or whatever, they'll outright tell you. There is no tell. They will tell you from the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, this is a screenplay I wanted to do, and I felt that doing it as a comic would be really good to show the studios, what's possible. What it is, and and that type of thing. And and here's the funny thing. So we had gotten several people like that, and and I don't want to say they're all like this, that they're very like flippant with the medium. Because there was a couple of people that I interviewed who I felt exactly that's how I felt that they. It's like, oh, it's just comics, it's like we're just passing through until we sell this to Netflix, And the way I look at it is that, oh, then I don't need to talk to you then, because if you're not in it, if you're going to show that much disdain for the medium, I don't need to talk to you. You know, or I like to call the Chris Claremont style. A big pet peeve of mine is when you turn a page and there's just a mountain of dialogue, and a lot of it is just describing what the art already shows. Yeah, it's like I said, I joke, but the thing is, though, that's how I became familiar with Chris Claremont. Although what's funny is that when I read Black Dragon, he didn't do that. So I don't know if that was like a stylistic thing at the time, or what. And I really do think when people do that, that's what they're copying. But of course it depends on Neil Gaiman is guilty of that too. Yeah, I just between us, I can't stand Neil Gaiman. I can't stand him or his work. I don't know. There is just something about him that I just can't handle. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but it's like, so the thing about, turning screenplays into comics, and I think that the exception to that rule that I interviewed was Frank Forte and Steve Mannion. And I'm definitely Frank Forte. He works in Hollywood because he works on Bob's Burgers, and he works on all these different cartoons and whatnot. And and he talks about how Hollywood is just this huge grinding machine, and it's like, for the amount of work that he wants to do, he can't wait for Hollywood to do it. To go through the whole process of, just the whole developmental hell for one project. So he does them as comics. So he takes whatever it is that he wants, so he does them as comics. But the thing is, though, is that Frank Forte has proven he has that track record in comics, that this is what he loves doing. So so it's like, so he was pretty much the exception to that rule. 30 Days of Night. So it was a screenplay turned into a comic that turned into a movie. I never read I knew it was a comic. I remember watching the movie. And again, it was just one of those things that I know that I should have liked it, but I didn't. I don't know. I don't remember it that much right now to even like, but that's kind of besides the point whether I liked it or not. But the thing is, though, it's like that's kind of exactly what a lot of these guys are going for. That's like, oh, we'll just do it as a comic, and then if it blows up, then the studios will pay attention to us. It's like, it's kind of like Keanu Reeves in Berserk. That it's like, oh, I'm going to save, it's like, oh, Keanu Reeves, he's going to save comics. Remember that whole shit? It's like, no, he's not saving anything. It's like, Keanu Reeves did the Kickstarter and moved on, pretty much how I expected it to go. But in the end, the book, his Berserker, the comic, that was a proof of concept book. Like, that book was done completely so that they could, they could show it to Hollywood and say, you see, we raised over $1 million on Kickstarter. The interest is there. Now it's like, now we want funding for the actual movie that we meant to do from the beginning. It's like, look, I'm sure Keanu Reeves is a nice guy, but I don't think he's as interested in comics as everyone was trying to make it sound like he was, just because he did a Kickstarter for a comic. Yeah, you see, and that's, I agree. Like I said, I think that it's completely, comics and movies are are completely different mediums, and they should be respected as stuff as such. There are things in comics that can't be translated into film, and there are things in films that doesn't work in comics. You know? Well, yeah, exactly. That's the only reason they're doing it. The comic is just a little side project for them so that they can, like I said, go sell it to studios. So what's funny, so Jose says this thing about, it's like, fuck screenplay writers. They're all just going to come into comics and fuck everything up anyway for us. And it's like, well, I can't argue with that either. I can't argue with that either, to tell you the truth. As much as I support their right to strike, and to have their demands met, I also know that, yes, there's going to be an influx of screenplay writers who are going to go, I can do comics in the meantime. But here's the kicker. If you're a comic book writer and you want to take advantage of this to work, to get something done in Hollywood, you're a scab. And when the union stops striking, they will actually ban you from joining the union, which means that you can't work in Hollywood. But they can come into our yard and they can work in comics in the meantime, and not have any, and not have any repercussions from that. I mean, I do have to admit, I do find that shady. So, so it's like, yeah, so I guess it's like, it's to see, we've yet to see whether that's exactly what's going to happen. That it's like whether professional comic book artists are going to be displaced by out-of-work screenplay writers because they have more name cred, or at least more clout that's usable for the studios than your average comic book writer nowadays. I don't know. It's like it could be just all conjecture at this point. But the thing is, though, I've seen it before. So, celebrities wanting to come in and, I want to do comics, or whatnot. And then, the publishing houses kind of bend over a little backwards for them, only to find out that just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you have a creative bone in your body. Or they hire ghostwriters. I don't know. That you know your worth, Jake. Yeah. So yeah, so I just thought that was a pretty funny angle, because I had completely forgotten about that angle. Although there were people on Twitter saying it's like, look, if you're gonna come into our house, please respect it. Also, don't do stupid shit like write multiple actions for one panel. It doesn't work that way, type of thing. Also, there was something else that I had said that, of course, that right now I can't remember. Let's see, where's my thing? Let's see. Where are my replies? Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. This. So my big tell when you see, it's like, okay, like this was written by a screenplay writer trying to sell this to Hollywood. Where's my cursor? So what I had said is that so the question that somebody had brought, what are the hallmarks of a comic script that's clearly just written for the screen and not comics? Them both being visual mediums, I admit I'm intrigued to know the real differences in the script themselves. And I had said my big tell, especially in the last couple of years, are comics that are so exceedingly visually restrictive that you can tell they're being produced with a film budget in mind. You can do absolutely anything in comics, but these types tend to be so visually boring. And that honestly, it's like that's I think that's the reason why I began to appreciate Jack Kirby as I got older, because I began to understand this was a man who understood the assignment. Let's just say that, and it was just like I was finally understanding what Jack Kirby was doing, especially later on in his career. Because especially when you see like when they take Kirby concepts and translate it to screen, they turn it into a gray paste. Like that's how it's like producers are cowards. The designers in Hollywood are cowards. But at the same time, that's what I was saying, how it's like just because something looks really good in a comic doesn't mean it translates. But I've seen enough cosplayers do that, so that's BS. That's kind of BS too, right? Like no studio is going to do Galactus the way Jack Kirby did Galactus. They're not. It's like either it's because it's like they don't have, because I mean, honestly, it's because like they're so set in things looking a certain way that, because look, it's like if you were to take that look, it's very easy for that design to translate as cringe. Very easy. It's a very fine line. But like I said, I've seen plenty of cosplayers do it. That they can take what could possibly be the most cringe, what you would think would be a cringe costume to translate into real life, and they will make it work. And the fact that studios have a problem doing that's why they redesign. That's why they redesign all the costumes. Because one, they don't want it to look like cosplay. And I have to admit, it's like, yeah, it's like there is a difference between cosplay and something with actual production value that needs to be designed a certain way. So yeah, so for people to just come in and say, "Oh, it's just comics, it's the same thing." No, it's not the same thing. Because I've seen studios struggle with certain designs enough to prove that it's not the same thing. And honestly, and my whole thing is that it's like, what did they call it? Somebody had called it adaptation syndrome. I think that's what they called it. It's where you're so concerned about how something is going to be adapted into another medium that you cater to that medium as opposed to optimizing, creating for the medium that you're in. Like I said, it's like, screenplay comics are very visually mundane. It's very obvious that they're created with budgets in mind. It's like, oh well, if we're only going to get like $30 million from a studio, I can't do a sweeping epic. But the stupid thing is that you're drawing a comic. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Allison, if anything, I always be disappointed until proven otherwise. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, because it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's one of the reasons why, I guess it's also one of the reasons why I just haven't had patience for anything. Because it's like, it's it's just, like I said, studios are cowards. They've already proven that they don't know what to do with that character. And I don't really see them. He's going to be dumbed down for the medium, visually speaking. He's going to be dumbed down for the film medium. Yeah, so it's like, so my whole take is that if you're doing a comic, really, really take advantage of the medium. Don't worry about, oh, well, what if, it's like, what? Make a comic that's impossible to adapt. I think that should be everybody's goal in comics. Make a comic that's impossible to adapt. Whether it would be too expensive, too just like completely crazy design work, I mean, really, it's because that's the beauty of the medium that we're in. It is that it's the reason why it's funny that you mentioned stuff like American Splendor, and Daniel Clowes and all that, and also the thing is like a lot of these, like kind of like slice of life comics and whatnot. It's like, look, I'm not saying they shouldn't exist, but me personally, I've never been interested in those comics because I don't see the point. If you're just going to just draw reality, to me, it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I expect from movies. That's the thing. It's like for me, it's like, like doing comics, it's like I just feel that, take advantage of it. It's like, but like I said, it's this is definitely more of a personal preference than anything else. Like, if you're going to write an autobiography, why does it need to be a comic? If you're not going to do something like Mouse, where it's like he visually took advantage of the medium to tell that story, it's like, just be another novel. It's like I don't I mean, I don't know. That's like I said, that's just a preference thing. That's just a preference thing for me. So yeah, so that's what this whole screenwriters thing was having me. So here you go. So Grant is like, okay, he has to start dinner because eating is important. If there are any artists out there who want to be on Grant's drawing stream, send him a message on Facebook if you want to be on his yeah, right. Oh, okay. So you can always find. So Jake, you have the exceptions to the rule then, right? You know, because that's, like I said, that's really tough for me. It's really tough for me. Yeah. You know, like I think that another person who's kind of like you know that they're doing the Incal, right? That they're doing I think it's like Taika Waititi is doing he's adapting the Incal for the screen. And I don't know, man. I don't know. One, I'm surprised that he finally got the go ahead to do that, because I'm not really sure how they're going to translate that to film, where you have studios who, it's like, if they don't recognize it, they're not going to give you the budget to do it. No, actually, she should have a belt here. Let me put, there's a belt that goes here. Hold on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So in the end, I just thought it was like a really weird thing to kind of like, you know, oh yes, solidarity to the striking writers, but stay the fuck away from comics type of thing, you know? It was just kind of funny how in the end it just, like, my thought process just went like a full, I don't know what it did. You know, but like I said, I mean, it's like a lot of these guys, when they get into comics just to do proof of concept stuff, they're more than happy to tell you, because they don't understand what the big deal is. You know, yeah, exactly. That's how I see it. It's an escape. Why would I want to read a story about you know, it's like, I don't know, Iranian governmental transition and how it affects the population? Why would I don't want to read that. You know, I don't want to read it as a book. I don't want to read it as a comic. So, that was Persepolis, by the way. I think that Persepolis was like the last of that type of book that I tried reading, and I swore I would never read that shit again. You know, because it's like everybody had a hard on for Persepolis when that came out. And you know, it's oh, funny that you mentioned Persepolis. Biocomics are hard to get into with the preconception of it being self-fellatio. It's true. But I've started to see it a different, once I got done raging at Persepolis. I don't know. I thought Persepolis was incredibly masturbatory. You know, that it's like, if it's one thing that I learned from Persepolis, is that Iranians are just as boring as Americans. That's pretty much all I got out of it. You know, I mean, I was literally so annoyed by the book, I threw it in recycling. I didn't even like donate it to the libraries. And I go, you know, fuck this shit, and I threw it in recycling. And you know, and I said, it's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done with these types of books. Yes, yeah, Persepolis is a doorstopper. It is, you know, and I swear that I would never read those types of books again. It's like, you know what? Comics is an escape for me. If I want to see a documentary about Iran in the 80s or whatever the fuck, I don't remember what the book was about. I'll read I'll watch a documentary. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, it's all personal preference. It's like, look, it's like I'm reading this Yoi novel. I'm still trying to get through it. I really am getting to. I slowly read through it. I do like a couple of pages every day, and and it's a slice of life shit. But it has, because of the theme, I can kind of get through it, right? But I would have a lot more fun with it. So the book is about a guy who runs a restaurant in the middle of nowhere, and he caters to like the aging population in a town. This is in Japan, rural Japan. He caters mostly to an aging population or whatnot. And then one day a stranger comes in that not only reminds him of his boyfriend that died climbing a mountain. He died in an avalanche, but the guy is like he's like kind of like a 5-star chef that happens to be out in the middle of nowhere. And now he says, "Oh, I'll cook for you. I'll work for you." And kind of like, the swag, like the swaggering, stranger that kind of sweeps him off his feet type of thing. And, mood wise, it's like, okay, that's why I'm reading the book. It gives me whatever emotional kick that I'm into right now. But it's kind of a slow read because it's contemporary. It's literally, it's it's a slice of life, type of, it just happens to be a gay couple instead, but I know I would have liked the story hell a lot more if it was like, say, a guy who ran a pub in a medieval town and a swaggering bard came in, and decided he was going to make that pub his base of operations, and it's like, like I would have liked the story. Like the story couldn't have changed any other way except for time period and maybe a little bit more fantasy setting or something, whatever, and I would have liked it a lot better. I would have gotten the book. I know I would have gone through the book a lot faster if because it's like, yeah, it's like, because then it's like the escapism kicks in, right? And and in the end, it's like, that's what I want. What it is? I want my fantasy to be fantasy, but I want the emotions to be real. Well, yes, that too. Yes, that was that's the other manga series that that I bought. It's like, if you want to hear me talk more about Remnant 7, which is a manga, which is an Mpreg Wolf manga thing that I am enjoying immensely, very much so. Yeah, you could check out House of Bob, the episode of House of Bob that we did on Saturday. I'm also going to do a separate video talking about it as well. because I really, really like that series. I'm such a schmuck. I really, really like that series. There's another book that I have to eventually get. This one was a web comic that that I have been obsessing on since I read it. I mean, it's complete, so I was able to finish it. You know, like read it from beginning to end. And here's the thing, though. So it's called Starfighter. Starfighter by Hamlet Machine. That's what she goes by. You know, and at first I didn't think I was going to like it because it was like a little too sci-fi heavy for me, or at least that's what I thought. But what was really cool was that the sci-fi elements were actually secondary. And I just completely fell in love with the relationship of the characters. Right? So it's an American made, Yoi comic, the web comic. And I was just so blown away by the characterizations in the story. And this woman knows how to draw sex scenes. Oh my god. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I have been obsessed with this web comic since. And she has she did a limited run of physical print copies. So eventually I'm gonna have to get it. I mean, it's kind of pricey to get all the issues at once. And I want to make sure that I can get them all at the same time because I don't want anything to sell out. She did say that she wasn't interested in reprinting them when they sell out. So yeah, I have to, probably on the next campaign, I'll make that my little present for myself and just buy so it's called Starfighter by Hamlet Machine. Oh, hey Phantom, hello. We're doing good. We're doing good here. You know what? After the show is over, I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But of course, just it is an adults only web comic. Just to give everybody the heads up, but just obsessed with it. I am just obsessed. But it's like she has some other comics too. But right now they're exclusive to Patreon, and her Patreon is a little out of my budget right now. So yeah, baby steps. Always adults only. Yes, always. So. But yeah, So yeah, so what was the moral of the story? Don't be boring in comics, I guess. I don't know. I mean, in the end, do what you want. I mean, like I said, everything I complain about is all completely personal preference. I'm just a schmuck on the internet, just yammering about shit while I'm drawing. So yeah, so never take anything I say as an absolute. It's like I know what I like and what I don't like. Like I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I like Fujoshi shit. I don't know. That's in my old age. Oh, I'm very happy with how this cover is coming out. This is gonna look so like I said, I'm going to so I'm putting in, like my usual embellishments, I guess. But when I paint in the armor, it's going to be that silver. It's going to be that silver paint, and I know this is going to look really nice. Oh, there we go. Yeah, trying to learn anatomy, drawing, and how to draw hands. Patience is the key. No, absolutely. Hey, look, look, I'm still learning how to draw anatomy too. I'm still learning how to draw hands too. You know, I mean, I should know this shit by now, but I don't. But yeah, it is patience. It's the long game. It's the constant grind. There is no shortcut, to it. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm still working on. So, yeah, so that's, yeah, so never feel like it's like, oh, I'm behind or I'm not getting this or anything. It's just really putting in the work. You're just constantly draw. But here's the trick though. Draw with purpose. Because I remember like a couple of years ago, there was this lady that I was watching. She was a YouTuber who happened to be an artist, mind you, not an artist who happened to be a YouTuber. It was the other way around. And she was doing something called a sketchbook challenge, where they were trying to fill up this really thick ass sketchbook in a month. And the way she was doing it was driving me nuts, because it got to a point where she wasn't even sketching anymore in the book. She was just literally just making marks just for the sake of making, or to say that she did a sketch. But it was such a meaningless gesture. It's like you learn nothing from that. Like she was just like rushing through these sketches just to say that she did her quota for the day to be able to do the challenge. But like I said, they were absolutely meaningless because there was nothing to learn from them. It's like there was. So the idea is, because I'm sure you've heard the whole thing, Malcolm Gladwell, the 10,000 hours thing, right? Because I know a lot of people like to shit on Malcolm Gladwell, and I was like, oh, it's like the research is bunk and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, well, here's the thing though. The research has a point if you know the entirety of what he was saying. Usually people just say the last part, 10,000 hours creates a master, right? But they always skip the part that says that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice makes the master. And then, of course, there's the whole thing that's like you can have the 10,000 hours of practice and you'll never reach a certain level of expertise regardless. It's like whether, you don't have the ability or the access or whatever it is. So the trick is to constantly sketch, constantly draw, just fill up a sketchbook from beginning to end. And if you do it with a deliberate intention, your last page is going to look completely different from your first page. Yes, it is. That definitely. It's a balance of purposeful output and critical observation. It's true. But there is nothing to say. But the thing is, though, there's nothing saying that you have to go to school for this. Actually, when I had Visenia on the other day, I don't remember which episode it was. I think it was like last Friday's show. I think it was. And we were talking about that because she actually, she went to art school. I went to art school, right? But I think that nowadays, unless you want to learn something really, really specific, you don't need to go to art school for anything. I mean, you can literally learn on your own. You can learn using YouTube videos. I mean, there are tons of classes online that you can that you can learn from. And there isn't, and it's like, look, no one has ever asked me for my diploma, for my college diploma, for I have a bachelor's in fine art, whatever the fuck that means. Nobody, the only people who asked for it was a low-end retail job, and I don't think they ever looked it up as to whether I actually got it or not. But when it comes to like actual art jobs, nobody ever asks. They just want to see, can you draw? Yeah, then okay, can you do this? Yeah, then that's what you do. So, but yeah, but in the end, it's the grind. It's the constant work. There's no shortcuts to this. Let's see. You can put in all the hours you like, but if you don't see it, you'll jam yourself from growing. Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's yeah, like that. But that's where the deliberate intention, like, really, like, for you to see, you have to see yourself improving to move on to the next thing. If you're just sketching just because there's an online challenge, you want to, you're wasting your time. I mean, if you're just scribbling, it's like, no, it has to be deliberate. And it's like, there is no shortcut. Even all these assholes trying to push AI artwork, that's not a shortcut. I think like the dumbest shit that I saw, there was a couple of things. It was really kind of pathetic. So someone was shitting on AI and whatnot. They did like some AI pieces, and it was just like, what it is that I guess like some video game designer, someone had done an AI rendition of one of his characters and sent it to the designer. And instead, it's like he literally pulled an Immortan Joe. He literally pulled a mediocre. And then he posted actual fan art from somebody who actually drew it. And praised that work. It was so funny. But what happened was that, of course, everybody in the comments was shitting on the AI shit, right? But here was the thing that really got me. It was the first time I saw this. That it's like, someone had said, it's like, you know what? If I had just wanted to see Deadeye same faces, Deadeye same faces in that soft palette, I would just go to Sakimi-chan's Patreon. And it's like, holy shit, did you just throw an actual artist under the bus just because AI shit looks like AI shit? I mean, it's like, what's ironic is like Sakimi-chan guaranteed was one of the artists that got fed into the AI to try to copy her style. And now it's like someone was in that Twitter feed shitting on Sakimi-chan for doing AI looking shit. It's like, is that backwards or what? It's like, it's not Sakimi-chan's fault that AI garbage looks like garbage. I mean, I was like really infuriated by that shit. I mean, it's like, look, at least Sakimi-chan can actually draw her shit. The AI is coming up with a facsimile of what she's doing, not the other way around. Oh, okay. So here's an interesting one. What is your opinion about the 3 types of artists? Copying, inspiration, and tracing. Well, what's funny is that if you're really training your skill, you need to do all three of those things. You know? So so if you're really training, you're honing your skill, you're going to need a variation of those three things to create the muscle memory that you will then eventually that you will build on in the future for your artwork. So copying, inspiration, tracing, right? I mean, now the thing is though, I'm not talking about taking somebody else's artwork, changing the colors, and then saying that it's yours, type of thing. I'm not talking about that type of blanded stuff. I'm talking about kind of like, okay, you see this image that I have on the screen right now, right? The basic pose I'm taking from a photo on Instagram. But here's the thing, it's just a pose. I'm not copying the photo. I'm not copying the model. I'm copying the pose. So, because why reinvent the wheel? I mean, it's just, I just needed a picture of someone sitting in armor, right? So I have, like I said, you can't see it, but it's on my screen where I have Instagram open and I copied the pose, right? And then just kind of superimposed my character on top of the pose. I do this all the time, especially when you're talking about basic poses. I mean, if there's a photo, there are some times where it's like, if there's a photo that you like and you kind of like, oh, this is a really interesting pose. How do I figure it out? You take that pose, you take that photo, right? Put tracing paper over it. If you want to get really, really basic, put tracing paper on it, right? And then you trace out the shapes of that pose or whatever it is that you're copying, right? To figure out, I was like, okay, so why does this pose work the way it does, right? And then you just build from there. Sometimes there are pieces where there's actually an entire piece that I really like. And then I go, okay, I really, really like this piece. How do I understand what the artist did for this piece to be able to get it the way they look that appeal to me the way it does, right? So what I do is I take that piece and I trace it, right? I trace it. But we're not doing an exact trace, right? What I'm trying to figure out is, okay, so this pose is like this. This pose is like that. I've been doing this a lot with John Buscema covers, like Conan covers. There was a Jack Kirby one that I did that too, where I pretty much traced it, but laid my own artwork on top of it, trying to figure out, can I get the same kind of like that feeling, that sense of composition, that what makes that piece work? And then what I'm literally doing is pulling it apart and putting it back together again in my way so that I can figure out, it's like, okay, what, like honestly, where was it? Like this piece that I showed before, this one is it's like I literally copied a John Buscema opening page from one of the Conan books, from one of his Conan books, because I wanted a Conan feel to this piece. Now, obviously, it's not Conan that I'm drawing on the screen, right? But the poses are taken directly from him, from his piece that he drew already. Now, here's the thing that I learned when I was doing that. And this is the thing too, because when you're tracing, you also have to take into consideration that the way other people draw bodies is not going to be the same way you draw bodies. And when I trace artwork, I figure that out really, really quickly. If I trace exactly what I see, my artwork looks wrong. But I figure out, it's like, okay, if in the end I just want the pose anyway, then I adjust it according to what I need. And then, because the idea is like I said, it's like the idea is that, yeah, it's like you're doing a study. I mean, it's like, look, I used to have a book called, it was about Titian. And he was a particular painter, and the entire book was how other masters, how other contemporaries, other masters would copy his paintings to figure out how he did his paintings. Or it's like, why does the pose when Titian does a pose? So this is not new. I mean, this is like pre-Renaissance and everything. This is, this is a technique that's always been used. Where it's like artists copy other artists, trying to figure out technique, trying to figure out style, trying to figure out, why does this work here but not work here? You see, and that's why AI is not the same thing. AI is not inspiration. When they say that it is, it's not. Because all an AI is doing is literally taking bits and pieces of all this artwork and mashing them together in a collage. It's not thinking about anything. It's not taking anything into consideration. It's not pulling information from a resource. And also it has, an AI has a photographic memory. What works in our favor is that we don't have photographic memories. Although, what was that artist? Kimji said that he died last year, that the reason why he was able to draw the way he did was because he had a photographic memory. But that's, you can tell that, it's a different thing going on there. So, and what's funny is that, if you want to check out, if you allow me a small plug, if you check out my videos, I have a video specifically explaining how this, like using reference, how to use reference correctly to do artwork. It's like how to use tracing, how to take reference and adjust it for what you need to do and to learn from that. I do have a video on that. So if you want to look back in my playlist, I do have a video for that. Which would explain it a little bit more concisely than what I'm doing now. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's part of your educational purpose, of your educational training. And you shouldn't be afraid of it, and you shouldn't listen to people who say that that's cheating. Absolutely, it is not cheating. It's like Allison said, you're doing a study, and you're creating muscle memory so that when you do get more skilled in what you're doing, you won't need to use as much reference. But the thing is, though, there is a difference when you use reference and don't use reference, because not everything is remembered equally. The example that I use in the video is draw a bicycle from memory, and most people cannot do it. You need reference for that. And the funny thing is, it's like you have like programs like Clip Studio Paint where they have asset libraries for you to literally trace. I mean, I literally bought some books from Japan, right? Let me show you. I mean, I've showed these a million times already, but but the thing is, though, it just goes to show you that it's like, this is how they work. So so this is one of the books that I got, this from Japan, and it comes with a CD-ROM. And the idea behind the books is that they did all these poses and layouts for you. And then what you do is you take them off the CD-ROM, put them in whatever program, or even, you take a photo and you trace it. You use it as your base for whatever it is that you're going to do. And, it's just really funny how it's like, it's like simple poses like that. Now, like I said, oh, bye, Allison. Allison has to go. So, but like I said, it's like the idea is not, the idea is not to use the poses exactly, because your style, as you're building it, you're going to be drawing bodies differently. You're going to be drawing faces differently. Your style is going to come through. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with using a base. I mean, literally, that's what these books are for. These are literally, books that mangaka use, and it's, they don't have a problem with it. It just saves a lot of time. I mean, it's like I said, I'm looking at an Instagram photo to get this pose, as simple as it is, because there are just sometimes I don't want to think about it. It's like, let's just get the drawing started. I just need a simple pose. Let's go. And it just makes it easier for me to do that. So like I said, don't let anybody tell you that that's cheating or this, that, and the other thing. Everybody does it. It's part of the process. And it's like, look, I trace backgrounds to kind of figure out how this perspective works. Like I said, I trace figures to figure out how the body works, and then, like I said, adjust it, and there's certain pieces of artwork, they're artwork that I find, and it's like, what, I really like the way this comes out, and I take it apart and put it back together. That's, now, there's a caveat to that, though. There's a caveat to that. And I do mention that in the video, where you want to make sure you're not copywriting, that you're not copying something, that the entirety of the piece could be considered like a actual copyrighted piece. We saw this happen with Shepard Fairey with the Obama poster, that he literally traced from a photo, and the photographer sued him. The photographer and his studio sued Shepard Fairey, and Shepard Fairey lost that. He lost the suit because he traced it exactly from the photo. Madonna did. This wasn't a drawing, but she did. In one of her videos, she did a copy of a photograph, and the photographer sued her for copying way too many elements of the photograph, that he recognized his own photograph in her video. So so in the end, you want to be careful with what reference are you using. But like I said, if you go watch that video, I explain it more in detail as to as to how to do this correctly, essentially. So I hope that answered your question. I hope that answered it. So, it's like, look at that. So we're just at the top of the second hour. This went by a lot faster than I was expecting. But like I said, I'm really happy with the way the sketch cover is coming out. The other two are going to be kind of like related, to it. So, like I said, and then I'm going to paint it up with the shiny paint. So it's going to look really nice. I'm really happy with it. I still have to finish it up. I'll probably finish it inking. I'll ink it after the show. But but at least I almost finished another piece on the stream. I think that there's not that much left on this for it to be a completed piece, but at least we almost got there this time around. So okay, so let me just move this over here. Okay, there we go. So let me just move that. Let me just get myself together here. So yeah. It's like, look, I got to start sorting through all these books that I got today. If you weren't here, all my Kickstarter books, mine and JD's, came in at the same time. So I have to start sorting through this. to make sure that I got all my books, so that I still have a little bit more time before I'm actually, before I start fulfilling. So if anything's missing, I'll have time to get those orders in case, I need things like reprinted. It's very rare that that happens, though. Yeah, so this is my sketch cover. I'm not gonna, it's like I said, it's like I would have liked to have finished it on the stream. It's not like last time where I stayed over just to finish the piece, but this time around I can't do that because I really got to move on to unboxing these books. Hold on, let me just go right here. So Kickstarter fulfillment starts now, pretty much how it ended up. So let's see. So that's so I'd like to thank everybody for showing up who joined us in the chat today. Thank you so much. I pretty much Okia Fern, Phantom, Stuttering John, Jake, Allison, Patrick. It's like who else? Grant. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but I did see your post. So thank you so much for joining me in the chat today. And yes, and thank you so much to the 6 people who stuck it out for the 2 hours. I know that the conversation probably got a little odd with the whole thing going on with the Hollywood writers, but it's like, look, like I said, I don't know. It was just a strange train of thought, but that's just what it is. So, but thank you so much for hanging out with me for this 2 hours. So let me see what do we got here. Poof, and let me see this one, poof, and this one, poof. There we go. Yeah, so now now it's like we're gonna make this official. So let me see, what am I doing here? Yeah, also I have to eat something. I just realized I haven't eaten anything for a while. So it's like, so I'm hungry. I got books to sort, and then it's like, and then I'll finish off this sketch cover for later, because I really have to finish it now. So like I said, thank you so much for everybody joining me in the chat. Thank you so much for everybody watching me from wherever it is that you are doing whatever it is that you're doing. So thank you so much for that. So if you want to check out more of me and my artwork and everything else that I'm doing, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress. When I finish this sketch cover, I will post it to Facebook, so you can check that out as well. So if you're interested in seeing how this thing looks like when I'm done with it, you can join me on Facebook, and you'll see it when I'm finally done with it. And remember that you can also check out the replay of this if you're just catching us at the ending here, or any of my previous videos. Like I said, I have a video specifically on how to use reference for creating artwork. It's like I have that in my playlists as well, in my back catalog, so you can check that out as well on my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And speaking of Indie Comics Network, I will be back on Friday along with Nita Lanning. Well, we will be talking about whatever it is that comes into my head right now at the moment. So it's like so you can join me there for more semi-comic related and art related talk Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So make sure you join us for that as well. And remember that you can read Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, on my website. It uploads every day, Monday through Friday. It's the updated version that you're seeing on Kickstarter, so you can check that out. Or if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you head on over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can read the current story arc, which is Tears of the Mother, which is a direct continuation of Thieves Quest, and that uploads also every day, Monday through Friday as well. So that's pretty much it for me. Thank you so much for joining. I have no quippy. I'm hitting the wrong shit. I have no quippy ending for this show. I really should make something up. I don't know. Eventually I'll make something up. But thank you again for joining. And like I said, I'll see you on Friday, but definitely I will see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock, same time, same channel, my channel. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.
You really want to know my process?
Absolutely.
Usually starts with a holla and ends with a creamsicle.
And then if there's time in between,